Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Dogecoin, see what's going on, of course. Help us understand if this continuation will continue or if it might pull back, right? We got to kind of find out what's going on because there's a lot of pumps and unfortunately dumps when it comes to Dogecoin. So I think it's important for you to understand that and recognize that. Now, I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch. I just love teaching people how to trade. I've been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you just kind of become a better trader in general. All right, so if you'd like to become so, CryptoCache.tech is a website. You can reference that link in the description below. And see if you want to become a member. I provide a trading community, trading academy, where I teach you how to trade, as well as a simple fact that I share every single trade that I take, so you can learn how to structure your trades effectively. And we have traded Dogecoin in the past, at least more so swing trade, but there's different strokes for different folks, right? So keep that in mind, but check that out in your own time. I look forward to getting to know you better. Take a look here though at Doge. We'll go ahead and start with the obvious stuff and work our way down. Well, actually, here's the most obvious stuff. Check the Twitter feed to see if Elon Musk is tweeting anything. There's a great chance he probably just did something here recently, today or yesterday, and then things are kind of going out of sorts. There's a lot of different things that can factor in, but fundamentals have a lot to do with Dogecoin, so keep that in mind. When it comes to the technicals, let's go ahead and look at some of the obvious stuff here. We're over 70 on the RSI. There is potential for that to work as a support level. We want to see the one-day candlestick close, of course, likely higher than 17.2 cents to be able to confirm that. But right now at this point, it does look like it wants to try to stay above. And that can be a good thing in most cases. Most continuations that you can see or have seen in the past have a tendency of being very high when the RSI is over 70. Okay, so obviously, most pumps are going to push over 70, don't get me wrong, but they'll sustain and maintain themselves over that level for some time. And we could see that here with Dogecoin as well. If this comes up here, it might want to stay above. And if so, that could be a continuation or a sign of that. Looking at simple moving averages, we are under the 200. That could be a potential point of contention where the price might resist out at about 18.2. There's also, actually no, sorry, I misspoke. It was 18.3 cents. And then if you look down below here as well, we got the 50-day SMA working its way up. That's not like 100% foolproof certainty, but the 50-day SMA has a tendency of working as a support level when the price is above. So anytime you get the price above, you can tell it works fairly well to be able to hold and maintain the price action above it. And it hasn't been able to do that for some time. Even ever since November, this whole entire downtrend has been continuing. So we literally haven't seen very much price action above the 50 since November. So that's a very positive sign for Dogecoin. It does help us understand that we could and likely should stay above that level for some time, or at least obviously until it's not, right? How redundant is that? So anyways, the price action, you can see right around 13 cents for the simple moving average 50, and the price is obviously at about 17, so it's working as a nice support and should continue to maintain for some time. Obviously, we'll see what happens with the price action, right? There's a lot of stuff that could happen between now and then, but the increased volume here today is extremely important as well. That needs to maintain in order for the price to continue higher. We got to keep that in mind. Anytime we've seen these pumps in the recent past, of course, they're in a bearish type of scenario where Bitcoin was doing poorly. But you keep in mind, you see these two things here? Increased volume, which is much higher than we have right now, but it tapers off immediately. It's only 1 day of volume. Okay? Same thing here as well. Yes, the price came up and hit nice 32 cents, but we only had volume for 1 day and it all tapered off. Okay, so if we see this type of behavior right here, it's not going to work very well. Okay? What we need to see is continued support from volume, where we get a large amount of volume as a base to build on, right? Because again, Dogecoin has a tendency of shooting up strong for 2 or 3 days straight. So you have to acknowledge the fact that we need 2 or 3 days worth of volume too. Okay, so just pay attention to the volume. If we don't get more volume than we have right now, just say tomorrow, then that will not maintain and hold. Okay, moving on to the 4 hour. Here's kind of what's going on here. Obviously, we see the most amount of volume in the last 8 hours total. If we look at TD sequential, we can see we're just kind of starting this push. So truth be told, this could continue for a very long time, at least for another full trading day. We could see 1 more day's worth of continuation based on this metric alone, telling us that, hey, we're only 4-hour candlesticks and we're about 16 hours into a 32-hour continuation. Okay, or 36 hours basically for the full 9 to hit. So truth be told, we're looking very good here for TD sequential, and we are not overextended by any stretch in that sense, based on just kind of its recent projection here. It's got a nice little reset consolidation here around 14.4, and the price continued up. And as you can see, the 50-day SMA is working as a nice little support on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so good stuff there in that sense. We're over 70 on the RSI, of course, in the 4-hour. That is a cause for potential concern because, again, if you look at the history, most of the time it comes above 70 on the RSI. It'll go sideways and consolidate. Okay. So if we go sideways and consolidate from here, that'd be perfect. Go ahead and rest at support here at 17.3 and get that nice stable foundation of volume. But truth be told here, this is not a terrible situation. But with us being over 70 on the RSI, we could expect a slight pullback just based on that simple understanding, or at least, I would say at the very least, just some sideways action. Perfect if we saw some sideways action. I don't want the price to shoot straight to the moon, as most people would say, because that would leave it unhealthy and it'll come right back down. If you want the price to maintain itself, you want to kind of have this nice, healthy staircase pattern. It's been doing that lately, right? We just got to get some sideways action here. Okay, so next 24 to 48 hours, we can get some just straight sideways action from 17 to 18 cents. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. All right, so mostly good stuff there on the 4-hour too. Looking at the 1-hour, we can see a bit of an overextension here, of course. Yes, we're only at a 6, but we saw a previous 9 here as well. Anytime you see 2 9s in a row, which hasn't happened yet, but if it were to, and actually it pretty much is inevitable even if the price goes sideways, if we see a second 9, we could expect a pullback or, at the very least, sideways action from there. So just keep in mind, anytime you see 2 9s in a row on TD sequential on a 1-hour, or just even more so on the 4-hour, the pullback likelihood is greater because it's been maintaining that continuation to the upside for too long. First one, got a nice little reset here. We got a nice consolidation pattern there, but we haven't had consolidation yet, even though we haven't hit a 9 yet either. So again, we're not completely in bad shape, but in the next 3 hours or so, we could experience a pullback to this closest Fibonacci retracement, about 17.3, and consolidate. I think the likelihood of it shooting much higher from here is pretty low, unless there is another tweet or something else that comes out from Elon Musk or the like. Something has to happen fundamentally to cause this. But there's no doubt that there's more increased volume now, and with increased volume creates this consistency in an uptrend. But this consistency can only be allowed to happen if we have volume, and if we accumulate volume at certain price points, and we need to accumulate volume here at this price. Let's take a quick look at the volume profile and call it a day. Kind of see what's going on here in the bigger picture here. So in the more relative recent past year, let's just say from the first of the year as a close approximate, we've seen the most amount of volume accumulate right around 14 cents. And you can see right here that there was a nice strong accumulation of volume here just before the leg up today and yesterday. So it's no surprise that this kind of has this, this type of pennant pattern breakout. A lot of coins are doing that right now, and it makes perfect sense. It's again, increased volume is very standard. If we see a diminished volume, we can expect the price to kind of go stagnant on us. So is this going to maintain? Yes, with volume, it probably should. In fact, it has a tendency of doing very well when it can. A lot of times Dogecoin will go on 3 to 4 day tears. So just bear in mind, we're at almost 3 days in right now. We could expect a 4th red day. Okay, I would say that we're more likely to see a red day in the next 24 to 48 hours than we are to see the price continue higher. Just being realistic in the sense of how it's performed recently. But once again, if we look at the big picture too, we can see a large amount of volume accumulation still higher than the current price point. So just bear in mind, we're going to have some resistance at the 27 cent range if the price were to continue to go higher from here. Obviously, there's a lot of ground to cover between now and then. But generally speaking, there's a lot of things to be aware of. But we got a nice stable amount of volume in the recent time frame. Below the price action, that does help. And so I would say there's more complementing factors than ones that are going to take away here. And the likelihood, I think, of Dogecoin coming up higher is still great. Just bear in mind, we're a bit on the overextended side on the 1 hour, 4 hours starting to get there. If we don't get consolidation at the price point where it's at right now presently, we could expect the price to come back down and retrace. Again, with greater volume comes greater responsibility, and we'll see the price continue higher from there. I hope that makes sense how I explain that. We'll keep a close eye on this one as well. I really do hope that it continues higher, but we want it to be healthy. At this point, any further extension will cause an unhealthy decrease in value. Okay, so let's get that stable foundation. Let's build some volume at 17 cents. Let's go sideways for a little bit, and then let's leg up again. Come on, let's do this right. Let's not get crazy and get too far out of sorts. All right, well, hopefully you found benefit. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope this makes sense. Thanks to my current community members for requesting that I cover this. More than happy to do so. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Oh, if you're not currently a member, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. Have a good one. Thanks again.